It's finished here at Crest Stadium, the Eddie Titch-Willett Memorial Shield, Herne Bay 7, Hythe Town 2. What do you make of the performance?
Really, really pleased. The first half hour I thought we was brilliant, and without getting too excited and things, because it is a pre-season friendly and things like that. Really, really pleased. We were sharp. We passed it well. We ran well. We tackled. Amount of second balls. Ethan won. Herde won. Tyler won in midfield. Just really, really positive. Really, really, really pleased. And then in the last 10 minutes of the first half, I thought we dropped our standard a little bit, which is disappointing when that happens. But it's a bit of a double-edged sword that, when you're so on top, that it's football, it does kind of come back. So it's a lovely position to be in, that we need to try and get better at maintaining being on top for a long period. That's an amazing thing to have as a coach, isn't it? So much better than dealing with this problem or that problem that seemed to come out. So yeah, really, really pleased. Second half, again, started okay. Wasn't as bad as we was for the last 10 minutes of the first half, just started okay. And then I just think as the game went on, we just sort of ramped up a little bit and got better and better and scored a few more goals. I think some of that maybe fitness, some of that bit of sharpness, but positive. Yeah, really, really pleased, really pleased. It's not sort of the sort of person that just says well done for nothing, but we scored 7 goals. It doesn't matter who you play against. It's still a positive performance and positive result.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that sort of last 20 minutes and opening 20 minutes of the second half were a little bit sloppy. If you think perhaps we let in that penalty, do you think the game could have changed? And perhaps do you think that is just something that's pre-season based, or something you're going to be pushing the lads to really focus up on?
Both. I think it is a bit of pre-season. I think it is tough. I've never been a huge fan of pre-seasons anyway. When I was younger, I liked running, but I didn't like the games. They always seem a bit false and a bit forced and a bit, playing the different levels, and it's hard on the other. Being the underdog's tricky, and playing against the underdog's tricky. So it's if they get into the 3-2, I don't know, maybe that would be an extra kick up the backside. So then we would have been better the first 10 minutes out of half time, whereas we were still quite comfortable. They'd had, I didn't think it was a penalty, to be honest. Obviously, I had a very good view. I was not far from it. I thought it was, yeah, but it wasn't a penalty. We can leave it at that. So, and then the amount of faff that their boys did around the penalty, it's probably inevitable that they was going to miss it. But yeah, we created so many opportunities before that it's tough to keep maintaining your standards, but it is something that we need to do. But that's probably come a bit earlier than maybe we thought it would. It's a lovely position, like I said before. That's the position we want to be in. If these are good problems, there are problems all the time and challenges and things we need to work on. That's a top end problem rather than a bottom end problem.
Yeah, and I think a challenge we spoke about in the last interview was, in fact, our ability in front of goal probably wasn't great in the last few games, but actually today we changed that around. 7 goals scored and some good goals and some good assists from some of the players out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Jordan was brilliant. I thought not just in his goals. I thought he gave whoever was marking him, wherever he was on the pitch, whether he was deep, whether he was taking the player on into the box. I thought he was really good. Really, really good. I thought he was sort of the standout player today, to be honest, him and Tyler. But yeah, we should have scored more on Tuesday night probably, but woulda, shoulda, coulda sort of things are never any good. So the Thursday night, I made a joke on Tuesday that we were going to work on shooting and things, and we did. But I don't think it's just because of that. It's just one of our days that it went well. But the biggest thing to look for is, are you creating the chances? And we are. So we'll keep that going and keep being positive about that.
Yeah, obviously we had a new lad play at right back today. Chris Sessignon started there. How do you think he did in that first half?
I thought he was brilliant. He was good. He's not fit. He hasn't done a great deal in pre-season anywhere, so that's why he only played 45 minutes. He will be a brilliant player for us if if we can keep him fit or get him fit, wherever we are with that. But yeah, he sort of feeding the ball into a front man and setting up attacks from sort of positions that we don't think, the other team probably felt quite comfortable, and then he feeds the ball through through a line to get somebody then going at them. So it's no coincidence that probably Jordan played his best bit of football, because he assesses a clever footballer to give him the ball to say, go on then, go and show us what you got, which is what we want our attacking players to do.
Yeah, and Frankie looked like he picked up a knock perhaps just before half time. Can you let us know anything that went on with that?
Yeah, minor one. He got a bit of a kick, which was a sore one, but he had a bit of a strain anyway, I think, before the kick. So, but he'll be fine. He's a tough lad. He's coming back to fitness. We knew they'd have these little little bits. He was probably going to come off at half time anyway. We want to make sure that he's sharp and building up his fitness and ready to go. Missed him last year, a lot. So, and it looked like a nice partnership with him and Reece on the left hand side. We looked young, fast, fit, which is the person playing inside Reece didn't look any of those things. So then we have to, it was good balance to our side that side. You're not meant to laugh and nod.
And last of all, obviously, we saw another appearance from youngster Jamie. He played a couple of games last season, did really well today, 2 assists. What's the plans for players like Jamie this season?
They've got to move players out of their way to get into the team. So I'm involved, try to be involved with the 23s and help watch from training sessions. I played in their game last week. I'll be watching their game in a minute. There needs to be that pathway, and a lot of the time on social media or these interviews and things like that, when you hear managers saying about pathway, and maybe last year we went too much too soon, but that was probably a sign of that it was that that we wasn't doing enough out there, so we kind of did use them a bit more. All he can do is do what he did. Like the 15 minutes he played, he had 2 shots blocked and set up 2 assists. I mean, the first touch for the first assist was brilliant. And I've had that chat with him. Does he want to sit on the bench all year and get 10 minutes? Maybe not. So he might need to go and get some games in the league below and something like that. But it's up to him. If he then plays Tuesday and does another good cameo, then there's going to be games and minutes for everyone. I've had a chat to some of the players in there, and we have got a bit of a squad still. Probably look to cut a couple of them over the next week, 10 days. We've got some injuries, so then we still need to keep the squad. We don't want everyone playing 90s, throughout the next 2 weeks before we start. But so then people like Jamie, Alfie Hill's the same. I had a conversation with him on Thursday. They're big players, but they're good players. But they've got tough players in front of them to try and displace. But I think they're ready for the challenge. They've told me they're ready for the challenge, so that's only positive for Herne Bay. So we can just keep, we sort of watch this space, I suppose, would be the answer to your question. But it's a better, again, going back to the problems. It's a nice problem we've got. Cool, he's talented, yes, he is. So let's keep going and see where that ends up.
Super. Thank you for your time, Liam.
Cheers.